What I have here in front of me is a Columbia Graphophone AP and an AQ. The AP came out in 1903 and is a pretty good working machine with one problem which I'll talk about in a minute. And then the next year they came out, 1904, they came out with the AQ, which was improved by having a feed screw. So this one, the AP, it's a small little machine marketed by Columbia to try and bring even cheaper machines on the market. They had the B, which was a really nice working machine, an open works machine similar to this. Then they had the Q, which was a little bit cheaper. And then they came out with this, the AP, which was around $3, which is the lowest price they ever came out with. This machine is a pretty good working mechanism, very similar to the Q mechanism. The reproducer, though, is guided across the cylinder by the groove itself. So the groove pulls the reproducer across the cylinder. That's not the best way to do it. The one problem which this machine has is that the cylinder, as it's spinning, this loses traction in the groove and it'll slide across the record unless this machine is quite level, and there is a level on it over here. When I bring you in close, I'll point that out. So this machine came out in 1903, and then in the next year, 1904, they made the improvement of putting a mechanism on it to feed the screw, to feed the reproducer across the record. And when I bring you in close on this one, you'll get a good look at that. So I've got the AP and the AQ. Both these machines were marketed as somewhat of giveaways. You could buy 12 records and the machine would come free, and that would be a way of getting you to start purchasing records from the company. These were also what are called client phonographs, meaning this company made the machines, Columbia made the machines for other companies, and those companies put their own name and marketing on the machine to sell them. So a company like Sears would agree to purchase these machines and sell them as a Sears phonograph. This would have been marketed, let's say, as an Oxford Junior or a Harvard Junior or something like that. And that way, Sears would have their own product that they were selling, but it was really a Columbia machine. And that deal with Sears lasted from 1906 to about 1909. So let me bring you in for a closer look and we'll see some of the details of these two inexpensive machines. As you can see, this is a bit of a minimalist machine, being very simple. The spring is covered by this metal cover here. So unlike a Q, you can't actually see the inner workings very much. You got the governor over here. This is the start-stop mechanism. And you can see that you can adjust here for the governor over there. And because it doesn't have a feed screw driving the reproducer across the cylinder, this thing has to be very level in order to work and not skip. And you can see there they wrote keep level. So that would help keep it working. There is an adjustment here to make it level. And you can see the mandrel. Very simple, a little bit like a Q, really. And if we go over here, we have the AQ. And I know the horn looks a little unusual. To be honest, I'm not sure if that's correct, but I know that the AQ was an upgrade and did have a brass belled horn. The only thing that makes me think it might be original is right here, this little hole in the horn lines up with this little hole there to allow the horn to swivel a little bit. As you can see, it's driven here. There's a feed screw, and this is what grabs onto the feed screw, and that drives it across. Like the other one, it has the same partly encased motor, but it doesn't say keep level on it because now that we have a feed screw, it doesn't have to be perfectly level to work. This one has a really nice decal, same as the decal on a Q. And there's an Oxford cylinder, and over here we can see some Columbia cylinder boxes. An indestructible one. All right, let's try one. Okay, I've wound up the AP, and before I put the reproducer on it, there is a little bit of movement in the reproducer. You can bring it forward or backwards a little bit. It's built in adjustment there. So let's give it a try. Put it at the start of the record somewhere. I think it's not level. Let me level it off again. Okay, I've re-leveled it. You'll notice that it actually has a little bit of swivel in the reproducer. So let's try that. Oops. Let's try the other one. Okay, I think we'll have more success with this one because it does have a feed mechanism. There is a little play in the reproducer here, so this should work really well. You probably noticed that the AP sounded better than the AQ. That's really a matter of the reproducers and how they work. They're both the same style reproducer. This one's obviously in better shape and this one needs a rebuild. So you can't really judge the sound quality based on the reproducers that I used. If I had switched the reproducers, I'm sure this one would have sounded just as good as that one sounded. But you can see that having a feed screw makes a huge difference. I had a bit of a tough time getting this to work, as you saw, and even if I got it level, some of those cylinders will still start skipping, where this, they will play through quite well if it's a little bit off kilter. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed seeing these two really cute little machines.